Welcome to our Cybersafe Digest Weekly Podcast, Episode 2. Each week, we will unfold the most recent cyber attacks and will provide you with valuable insights on how to shield your business from these threats, along with practical steps and tips to enhance your cybersecurity.
Welcome, everybody, to our Cybersafe Digest, Episode 2. I'd like to thank everybody for the feedback and your sign-ups from last week. It was great to hear some stuff from there. And welcome, Toby.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. It's great to be back to talk about cybersecurity and cyber threats.
Okay, and as we said last time, this is focused on business leaders, people who take responsibility in companies for protecting the business from cyber threats and doing the IT, not necessarily IT experts or cyber experts. Yet the feedback from last week, really good. Lots of follows. And some old friends getting in touch and saying that they enjoyed it. And my family's listened to it as well, including my wife. And I did say to her this morning, that's the first time in 40 years she's listened to me for 9 minutes without being interrupted. So I got away with that. I got pre-clearance for that joke, so forgive me. Okay, I think it's worthwhile, Toby, talking about what's going to be big in the next week or so, which is Black Friday.
Yep, it's that time of year. There are a lot of seasonal threats anyway that try and capitalise around public holidays and topical events.
Yeah.
And Black Friday, particularly in the UK, is one that's growing, and the bad guys are trying to capitalise on that.
Yeah, I mean, we see a whole spike of phishing emails coming through, and because of the sheer volume of them coming through, I guess they're carriers for lots of different attempts to compromise individuals and the business. Would that be true?
Black Friday is a scammer's paradise. From a consumer perspective, there'll be lots of emails going out saying, this product is half price, this product is 90% off, and all these too good to be true offers. And interlaced with those, it should be expected that some of the more run-of-the-mill business targeting attempts will be dropped in there.
I'm going to say something really bad, I suppose, which is there's two types of scammer here, isn't there? There's the companies who are selling stuff which they purport to be half price at this time of year when clearly it hasn't been. But that's legitimate, and that's just sales gaming. Mm-hmm. And then we've got the real scammers who are out there trying to get...
Yes, selling products that don't exist, or selling fake products and passing them off as legitimate ones.
And I guess in the volume of those things as well, we've got more sophisticated things, which are rather than the short-term acquisition of money through selling stuff which doesn't exist and such like, there's also some longer-term or medium-term gains to be had by scammers to get credentials and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. They may be trying to get your Amazon details. It's a huge retailer that at this time of the year, lots of people are buying things from, and the Amazon marketplace means that virtually anybody can sell anything through Amazon. So that would potentially be one way. Obviously, that has repercussions for individuals themselves, but the big danger for businesses here is where credentials are reused. So if people are using their company email addresses for personal means.
Now, there is a thing that we would say to our customers and to their people is try to keep that separation of your personal life and your personal credentials and emails and your business ones. Try not to allow too much leakage into each sphere.
Yeah, and it's for the protection of everybody. The company doesn't really want to be seeing all of those personal things that are coming through and be responsible for the safe delivery of supermarket newsletters and things like that, which an individual may be expecting to receive. Yeah. So it benefits everybody. It's
actually a logical extension of the concept of keeping your business and personal life separate. I mean, you wouldn't use company letterhead to write to do your Christmas round robin to your friends.
No, that's right.
And family. Nor should you be having your personal electricity bill done through on company letterhead either. So you respect the space.
Absolutely, and from a company perspective, it means that the company can focus on protecting against business-related threats, and a lot of the retail and the shopping things can be quite easily taken out, just culled at the various security gateways and content filters. From a personal perspective, you don't want to feel like the company's prying in what you're buying. We've seen all sorts of emails that have come through, and it's kind of embarrassing for the end user to say, I can't get to this website because it's a certain type of shopping establishment.
Okay, there's always suspicion with some companies that they can see all your emails and they can see all the traffic that's going to and from your computer. Now, that depends on the organisation and it depends on how diligent they are. I mean, how granular can a company see stuff if they choose to?
For the most part, they could see it all if they want to, and that's where robust policies come into play. Yeah. It's where things like GDPR and the Data Protection Act help protect both businesses and individuals. So having policies around what you can and can't do and what you should and shouldn't be doing are really important. So if you don't have a policy that says only use your email for work purposes, don't use it for personal purposes, sign up to one of the free solutions for personal, then you will find that people within the organisation are doing it because it's convenient.
Actually, policies is a really important part of gaining cyber certifications such as Cyber Essentials, Cyber Essentials Plus, and such like. You need to have policies in place which are reviewed by the user, signed up to by the user, kept up to date by the user.
It's a form of training. If they don't know they're not supposed to do something or they don't know they're supposed to behave in a certain way, then you can't blame them for behaving in those ways. They've not been told that this is not what the company wants. So it's hard to be punitive around that.
Okay. The other thing about policies is that there are templates out there which are usable, that can be easily found on the internet. If you're working with an MSP that does Cyber Essentials Plus, or with a Cybersafe organisation that's taking you through the process of getting Cybersafe, then they'll have policy templates for you to use, and also will help you manage that whole process of implementing them and keeping them up to date.
Absolutely, yeah. Policies are really useful. They can be, but don't have to be, backed by technical controls. So it may be sufficient just to say, we expect X, Y, and Z, and we will spot check, periodically monitor, whatever. So you don't necessarily have to have a hard limitation around it, but you can use the policy to set an expectation of how people should interact with the system, how they should behave with the systems.
We use a product which trains us, tests us on our phishing awareness. Mm-hmm. I get emails on a regular basis, which...
phishing simulations,
Yeah. Great thing, actually, because it allows us to do things in a safe space.
Exactly, yeah. So effective training courses or effective training programs have two facets. The first is some training material that tells you what to look out for, what may or may not be the topic of the day. Yeah. And then you then want to try and back that up with real world examples that allow you to fail in a safe space. And that's what the phishing simulations do. So they vary in quality. The better ones are very well curated, very convincing.
Yeah.
And if you click on one and you go through a certain series of actions, then you'll get a pop-up saying, oh, you failed a phishing simulation. Here's some more training to help you learn from your mistakes.
Well, I'm very proud of my record on defeating our phishing simulation, except I did fail a few weeks ago. And it was simply that I'd been in meetings all day, opened up my email on my phone, which was probably a mistake in itself to actually try and deal with the volume of emails on my phone, because dealing in such a small area of space there, I couldn't spot the signs. And I clicked on a link and I failed that phishing test. And I was trying to get through things very quickly, but it did actually highlight to me very directly that I don't deal with volumes of emails on my phone. After a long day when I'm tired and I've got lots of things to do, nothing is that important. If it's a really important email, I'll know about it.
Yeah, mobile devices are really tricky to remain vigilant on, because the screens are smaller, the interface is often cut down, so you don't get the same level of information. That limited real estate is focused on what is in the message, not necessarily all the other things that we try to look at when we're trying to spot the email address and the sender address and all those other things. We don't see all of those things quite so readily on a mobile device because the interface is condensed on purpose to maximise the real estate for the message. So attackers will try to use that, which is why they will often send outside of hours, because they know that people are not at their multi-screen desktop or laptop setup. They are on their phone or on their tablet. Again, at the weekends, you pick it up when you're in the supermarket or you're out and about and you're not really paying attention. So, extra vigilance is required with mobile devices, because it's harder to see the details that would normally tip us off that it's a bad message.
Okay, so we've talked about the contents of emails and phishing emails and what to look out for. I guess we could sit and talk about it for half an hour and bore everybody silly with it. But I guess we've got a good resource on the website, yeah?
Yes. If you head over to www.newways.com/phishing-aware, there's a whole bunch of content on there that will help give you some pointers as to what to look out for.
Yeah.
It's no substitute for a proper training platform, but it should at least provide some insight into some of the more basic and obvious things.
And just to be obvious, just to be clear, phishing is obviously PHISHING.
Yes, phishing
aware. So, but as you say, absolutely no substitute for a good cyber security training program, which will curate and take you through some simulations to help you understand the risks.
Exactly.
Brilliant. So I guess the one thing to do this week is consider your options in terms of this training programs you can do. They're not expensive per user per month, and they bring real value. It does train people, and better to be caught in a safe space by a phishing email, simulated phishing email, than the real thing. Okay, well, thank you very much, Toby.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for listening again to the second episode of the Cybersafe Digest Weekly Podcast, which is a companion piece to our weekly email. And we hope to see you again next time. Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you, everyone. We've reached the end of episode number 2 of our Cybersafe Digest Weekly Podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and to make sure you don't miss out on our future episodes, hit that subscribe button on Spotify, Apple or Google Podcast. For more cybersecurity wisdom and resources, head over to our website at cybersafe.co.uk. See you next Thursday.